I've also got a way to make a list of favorites here from my most often called numbers, so I can just touch it once and dial the number. And I might want to add somebody to favorites. So let's say I want to add Phil Schiller. I just push that plus button in the upper right-hand corner, right there, and up pop my favorites. And I can just go to the S's here, and there's Phil. So Phil Schiller right there. And I'll put, let's say I want to put Phil's work number. And it's added Phil right there. You can see the favorites. I can edit favorites by pushing the edit button in the upper left-hand corner. And I can move Phil up if I want to, you know, maybe to the top. And let's say I'm not going to, you know, Tony's changed his number. I got to update this anyway, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I could just remove Tony. Boom. There we go. It's that simple to edit these things. Very, very easy. I've got recents right here, which is all my recent phone calls. If I want to see the ones I've missed, which are in red, I can just go up and touch that button at the top, and boom, those are all the ones I've missed. And those are all the calls that I've placed or have gotten. If I want to dial the phone, if I'm real last century, I can push keypad here, and I can dial a call just with, oops, called 4, sorry, wrong number, 408 996 1010. And it formats the numbers. And if I want to, I can just keep dialing. Let's say it's a European number, and the numbers just keep getting smaller. Real simple. Very simple to dial with a keypad. Now let me show you visual voicemail. This is so cool. This is a collaboration that we've done, which I'll talk more about later. And it allows us to have random access voicemail. Go directly to the voicemails we want. So as an example, I come to my voicemail and I say, oh, there's one by Al Gore. I want to hear that one. I just push it.
Hi, David Dow. Wish I could be there today. I'm here in Nashville training people to give my slideshow. But I wanted to say congratulations on the iPhone. It is unbelievably cool. Good luck with the presentation. Call me later.
Now, if I want to call Al back right now, I can just push that call back button. But I want to listen to one from Tim Cook I've got here, so let me listen to Tim.
Hi, Steve. It's Tim. I've got the results from last quarter. Revenue was, you know, I'll just wait and tell you when I see you in person. Good luck on the keynote. See you there.
Isn't this awesome? And so I've got voicemail, how I want to listen to it, when I want to listen to it, in any order I want to listen to it with visual voicemail. So that is a quick tour of the phone app. Now what I want to do is show you SMS texting. So I just go to that SMS icon in the upper left-hand corner and push it. And I not only have SMS texting, but I have multiple sessions. So I can be carrying on conversations with people, and every time I get a new message from them, I'll be alerted to that, and I can go check it out. So as an example here, I've got Eddie Q, and I've been carrying on a conversation with Eddie, and I just tap this, and here's the conversation I've been carrying on right here, right? And if there's a new message, it'll tell me. So there's a new message from Phil, and let's see, the conversation was what? Hey, Steve, hi. Still on for dinner tonight? Absolutely. Your turn to pick. I've picked sushi Ron. How about 7 o'clock tonight? And I can just say, you know, sounds great. And I've got this little keyboard, which is phenomenal. It does error prevention and correction. Not that I won't make some, I probably will. But it's actually really fast to type on. It's faster than all these little plastic keyboards on all these smartphones. So I can just say, sounds great. See you there. And I can send that. And there it is. Right? It's that simple. And when Phil messages me back, I'll be alerted, I'll see the dot, and I can just go pick up that conversation where it left off. If I want to send a message to Eddie or Scott, I just push this and send a message and go. It's so simple. So that's SMS messaging, and you know, again, you've seen the keyboard. It's pretty awesome. We'll come back to that a little bit later. And the third app I want to show you as part of the phone package is photos. You know, we have a 2-megapixel camera built in, as I said. We also have the coolest photo management app ever. Certainly on a mobile device, but I think maybe ever. And so here's our photos. I'm going to go into our photo library, and this is our library. And again, I can just scroll through photos here with my finger. Pretty cool. Let me go to photo album. I'll pick Italy, and I just let's start at the top. And to go through pictures, I just swipe them. I can just swipe through my photo library. Oh, there's one that's landscape. I can just turn my device and take a look at it. Pretty cool, huh? Boom. Right? So I can even swipe when I'm in landscape here. You know? Isn't this awesome? The other thing I can do is I can take any of these pictures and I can make them bigger. And so let me go ahead and get the camera back up. Yeah, there it is right there. I can just take my fingers and we call it the pinch. I can bring them closer together or move them further apart to make it bigger or smaller. And so I can just move them further apart and stretch the image. Isn't that cool? And move it around. Isn't that cool? And now what I can do is I can pick to make this my wallpaper. And of course I could, you know, jigger it around then and just set the wallpaper. And now, when if I'm back at home and I go to sleep, when I wake up from here on out, till I reset it, that's my wallpaper. Whenever I'm making a call, that's what I'm going to see. Boom. There we go. So photos, SMS, and the phone app. That is part of our phone package for iPhone. Get a call. Again, really great call management features. Just scroll through contacts with your finger. All the information at your fingertips here. Favorites, last century, visual voicemail, calendar, SMS texting, incredible photo app, the ability to just take any picture and make it your wallpaper. It's pretty unbelievable. And I think when you have a chance to get your hand on it, you'll agree, we have reinvented the phone. Okay. So, now let's take a look at an internet communications device. It's part of iPhone. So what's this all about? Well, we've got some real breakthroughs here. Start off with, we've got rich HTML email on iPhone. The first time, really rich email on a mobile device. And it works with any IMAP or POP email service. You got your favorite mail service, it'll likely work with it. And it's rich text email. We wanted the best web browser in the world on our phone, not a baby web browser or a WAP browser, a real web browser. And we picked the best one in the world, Safari. And we have Safari running on iPhone. It is the first fully usable HTML browser on a phone. Third, we have Google Maps. Maps, satellite images, directions, and traffic. This is unbelievable. Wait till you see it. We have widgets, starting off with weather and stocks. And this communicates with the internet over Edge and Wi-Fi, and iPhone automatically detects Wi-Fi and switches seamlessly to it. You don't have to manage the network, it just does the right thing. Now, I want to take a second and talk about email. We hook up to almost any IMAP or POP3 mail service. I just want to give you some examples. IMAP, of course, is the best because you can keep your folders and all your email on the server and access it from anywhere. Yahoo Mail is IMAP. Microsoft Exchange has an IMAP option, and obviously .Mac Mail is IMAP as well. POP3, Google Gmail, AOL Mail, and most ISPs are POP3 email. Now I want to take a minute and highlight one, Yahoo Mail. Yahoo Mail is the biggest mail service in the world. They have over 250 million users. Biggest email service in the world. And today, we are announcing with Yahoo that they are going to provide free push IMAP email to all iPhone customers. So, this isn't just IMAP email, it is push IMAP email. So when you get a message, it'll push it right out to the phone for you. Same as a BlackBerry. Free IMAP push email from Yahoo. So we think this is a pretty big deal. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to show you Mail Safari, Google Maps, and widgets running on iPhone. So let's go see. So let's go into Mail. Second icon from the left on the bottom there. I just touch it with my finger, and boom, I'm there. And so I've got an inbox here, and this is, by the way, running live on Yahoo IMAP email. This stuff is coming off a Yahoo server somewhere up in the cloud. And so I can say, James Vincent here sent me an email. And he's a proud father. And there we go. And I can just scroll it here. I've got inline photos, rich text email. There we go. So let's look at another one. Phil Schiller. She loved the gift. Again, inline photos, rich text. Pretty nice. Shopping list. Again, rich text right here. Pretty cool. Directions to Sushi Ron for tonight's dinner. Now, iPhone, of course, parses out phone numbers, and as you can see, there's a phone number in blue. I can just touch it, and boom, I'm going to call this place. All right? I don't really want to call them, so I'm going to end the call here. But you get the idea. And this last one, Ken Bereskin is one of our marketing folks. He just returned from Antarctica. Ken's a great photographer, and he took all these great photos of penguins in Antarctica. It's really cool. Look at this. Isn't this great? Right in your email, right on your phone. And if I want to, by the way, I can look at my email with a split view just like I do on my computer. And so I can select something here and just look at it down here if I want to peruse my messages real fast and just find that one message I was looking for. But I actually like the full screen view. And of course, we have a standard inbox and drafts and sent, and, you know, and all sorts of folders you can put things in as well. So it's real email, just like you're used to on your computer, right here on your phone. It's extraordinary. And again, free IMAP email from Yahoo. Now, let me go ahead and just create an email message, show you what that's like. So again, when I don't need the keyboard, it's not there. When I do, it's there. I want to send a message to, let's say, Phil. I just type PH, and boom, Phil Schiller, it's address completion, and maybe I'll send one to Scott Forrestal as well. And there's Scott right there. And let's say the subject is dinner. Dinner, and, you know, oops. See you tonight. Boom. And I just send, sends that email, and we're done. So that is Mail. Full desktop class email running on a mobile device. All right, now I want to show you something incredible. I want to show you Safari running on a mobile device. So let's go to the web, and here we are. I'm going to load in, rather than apple.com here, a little more universal site. I'm going to load in the New York Times. It's kind of a slow site because it's got a lot of images, but here we are loading it. We're loading it over Wi-Fi right now. And rather than just give you a WAP version of the New York Times, rather than give you this wrapped version all around, we're showing you the whole New York Times website, and there it is. And guess what I can do? I can just put this into landscape mode, and there it is right there. And I can scroll here if I want. Scroll up and down here. Boom, still loading it in. There we go. Or I can just get back like this. Now, this is really great, and I can see the whole page, but of course I can't read it. It's a little too small. So I can get in with my fingers and pinch it, but we have an optimization here. I can just double tap on anything, and it automatically fills up the screen with it. And I can just scroll around like this and scroll over here, and I can even make this text bigger if I want to. And there it is. And just double tap again to get back to the full page. Isn't this cool? And so I'm just, look at this. There is the New York Times. And again, any article I want, boom. There we go. Boom. Unbelievable. Now, you can look at multiple web pages as well. You can have multiple web pages open. So I just push this button in the lower right-hand corner, shrinks it down, and I could add a new page if I want. And I'll go to Amazon here out of my bookmarks. So let's go to Amazon. And I love to go to the DVD section of Amazon and see what DVDs are selling. I like it especially when Disney's are at the top. So here's Amazon coming in. Even before the whole page is loaded, I'm just going to double tap on this. And I'm going to say, let's go to the DVD section here. And now it's doing that. And here we are. And there's a section over here on the right-hand side, right there. And these are the top sellers, updated hourly. Oh, look, Al's An Inconvenient Truth is #1. All right. And here's all the other movies. Grey's Anatomy, I like that. Pirates of the Caribbean, fantastic. And so I've got this right here, and I can go back to the New York Times if I want. Let's zoom up to that picture so we can all see it. And again, here. Isn't this cool? Just over there and go back to this one. I can get rid of them just by hitting the X. And there we go. Isn't that incredible? Safari. You know, if you've ever used what's called a web browser on a mobile phone, you'll know how incredible this is. I hope you never really know, because it's bad out there today. And this is a revolution of the first order, to really bring the real internet to your phone. Let me show you some about widgets here. Let's go to stocks right now, and we're going to load stock information off the web, and just right onto the phone here. Oh, look, Apple's up. That's great. I can look at different graphs here if I want to, and that's fantastic. Let's look at the percentages here. Oh, good. Good. So I've got stocks right here, and I can go look at the weather. Let's see what it's like outside. "49 degrees, but it's supposed to get to 61 today, so that's good. We'll just stay in here till it warms up. Now, I've got Paris right here. I can have as many of these as I want, so it's nighttime in Paris. It's actually warmer in Paris at night than it is here today. Wow. Aspen, well, no snow till later in the week. And Hawaii, oh, it's raining. That's not good. Well, anyway, here's 4 places: Hawaii, Aspen, Paris, and San Francisco. And again, the weather widget. Now, to conclude with the Internet device section here, I want to show you something truly remarkable, which is Google Maps on iPhone. And I hit our Maps application here, and it's coming up, and it shows us North America, and I'm going to go to Moscone West. That's where we are right now. And here we are. Boom. That's where we are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look for something. I'm going to certainly want a cup of coffee afterwards, so I'm just going to look for Starbucks, right? Starbucks. So I'm going to search for Starbucks, and sure enough, there's all the Starbucks. Now, I can get a list of Starbucks here, so I can pick that one if I want, and I can even go look at that Starbucks, and there it is, and let's give them a call.
Good morning, Starbucks in Hawaii. How can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to order 4,000 lattes to go, please. No, just kidding. Wrong number. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. Now, I can zoom in by just, again, pinching if I want to, or I can just double-click to zoom in. And I get just higher and higher resolution versions of the map. So let's go somewhere else here that I've got bookmarked. And let's go to the Washington Monument. And so here is Washington, D.C., and I could just double tap, and I'm going in a little further here. Just double tapping in. And there's the Washington Monument there, and I'll double tap in again. And but now I want to show you something else. Satellite images. So I just hit this button called Satellite down at the bottom, and it's going to replace the map with satellite images. There we go. And I can just double tap in, and double tap in again. And let's catching up to me here. There we go. And let's double tap in again. This is the Washington Monument. There we go. Look at this. You see people down there. Whoops. There we go. Yep. Isn't that incredible? Right on my phone. It's unbelievable. So let's go. I've got another one, the Eiffel Tower, which is very cool. I set this one to be, look at this. There's the Eiffel Tower. There's people at the Eiffel Tower, you can see. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? And here, just one last one. I have to show you, the Colosseum in Rome. So again, here we are in Rome. Yeah, that's as far as we can go with the map, but we can go a little further with the satellite. There's the Colosseum. There's the Roman Colosseum. Satellite imagery right on the phone. Look at that. That's the Colosseum. Unbelievable. Right on. For Google, what we have on our phone, working with them, is of course Google Search. We have that built right into the browser. Just type what you want, hit Google, and you're off. And Google Maps. We've been working very closely with them to make this all happen. We're thrilled with the results. And it's my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Eric Schmidt, Google's CEO.
Congratulations, Steve. What an incredible job. So, Steve, you know, I've had the privilege of joining the board, and there's a lot of relationships between the boards. And I thought, you know, if we just sort of merge the companies, we could call them Apple Goo. But I'm not a marketing guy. What I like about this new device and the new architecture of the internet is that you can actually merge without merging. Steve says that each company should do the absolutely best thing that they can do every time, and I think he's shown it once again today. And internet architectures, right? Internet architectures allow you now to take the enormous brain trust that is represented by the Apple development team and combine that with the open protocols and data services that companies like Google and the others represented that are coming up in a bit to actually put them together in a seamless environment for end users. What I particularly like about this is it's the first time it's all to come together in one place. Now, from a Google perspective, what we've done is we've pushed very, very hard to partner with others, and in particular to partner with Apple. The companies, the cultures are similar, innovation, having fun while you're doing it, and also working with many, many different data services. So Steve showed a little bit of some of the components, some of the pieces and so forth that you can do, but understand that this is a set of data that's from maps and partners and so forth, so that you really can get the full integration. The person doesn't understand how hard it was to get it all together. It comes together seamlessly. From my perspective, this is the first of a whole new generation of data services where these powerful based cloud computers, Google being, we hope, a leading representative, provides HTML, XML, and other sophisticated services that the Safari browser that's embedded in the iPhone and many other of its type devices and future devices out of Apple will be able to take advantage. Steve, my congratulations to you, and this product is going to be hot. So thanks.
Thank you very much. As a board member, you'll get one of the first ones. Yeah. Okay. Now, you also can't think about the internet without thinking about Yahoo. And again, on the phone, we've got Yahoo Search built right in. You can select which one you want to use. Just type in something, hit that Yahoo button, and boom, you're off. And of course, we also have Yahoo IMAP email services. And so, it is my great pleasure to introduce Jerry Yang, co-founder and chief Yahoo. Jerry?
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I'm not a board member of Apple, but I would love to have one of these too, obviously. Wow, all this for a phone, pretty incredible, and what a great device, Steve. We are really proud at Yahoo to be partnering with Apple on not only the Yahoo IMAP email, the first one we're doing, but also hopefully on a whole variety of other popular services from Yahoo. One of the things that we're going to be doing with Apple is also launching some of our new services that we announced this week, the Yahoo Go, Yahoo One Search, and hopefully we can get Yahoo One Search, which is one of our new products, onto this phone, which is really an innovative way of looking at search. You're really able to not get the traditional web search results, but rather get all the things you want in a very concise format, aggregated. If you type in things like San Francisco, you'll get all the local news, local weather, and local maps all in one place. So we're looking forward to doing that. As Steve said, Mail is a killer app on the phone. And Yahoo is really trying to redesign and re-innovate and reinvent the web experience and internet experience on the mobile devices. So on the email, you can look forward not only to great web services like the best spam protection, address books integration, and a calendar if you're on Yahoo. Just think, it's basically like having a BlackBerry without the Exchange server. This is really going to be really great, not only having a seamless experience from your PC, taken to your mobile internet. Yeah, there's some clapping out there, I can hear that. Lastly, we want to be able to really take what Apple is doing on the phone by reinventing the phone and reinventing the device. We want to be able to do that on the internet. And what we're doing is really being able to take great form factors, great user experiences, and great UI that we're taking from not only the web, but also in the back-end services, and translate them into a seamless web experience. So we're big believers in great hardware and great software, and we're big believers in taking the web services and Web 2.0 model and taking it to the device world. So Steve, my address, you had it all. Please send it to me. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Great to be your partner. Thank you.
You know, it's been great having the two greatest companies on the web right down the block, Google and Yahoo. And we've been able to work with these guys really closely, and it's been an incredible pleasure to work on this great technology and bring it to everybody in iPhone. So thank you guys so much. You've really helped us put the internet in your pocket. So, internet communicator, an iPod, and a phone. Let's put them all together and see what you can do in a real-life scenario. So, let's take a look. I want to listen to some music, so I'm going to go into my iPod here, and let's see, in artists, I want to listen to, maybe Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love those guys. And so I'm listening to a song of theirs. And let's see what happens when I get a phone call. Music fades out. Screen changes. I got a phone call coming in. So I can ignore it, but I think I'm going to answer it. So I'll answer it. Howdy. Hi, Phil. Now, it knows who Phil is because he's in my address book, so it puts his little picture up here and everything up there. Hi, Phil. Listen, I'm kind of busy right now. What can I do for you?
Oh, I was hoping you were done, because there's a photo that you had of Hawaii. I was kind of hoping you could send it to me, and I could use that as my wallpaper.
Okay. Hold on just a sec. So I push the home button here, down at the bottom, and I go home right here. And I'm still on the call. You can see the phone thing flashing right there on the lower left. And I go into Photos. And now I'm in Photos, and again, you can see the bar across the top, the green bar. I can just touch that to return to the call. And Phil wants a photo that he wanted to use it for his screensaver. It was one of the ones that was taken in Hawaii. I think it was this one. Yep, there it is. So you want me to mail this to you, Phil?
Oh, that'd be great.
All right, so I just go down here and push this button, and rather than use it as wallpaper, I'm going to email it. And so watch what happens now. It shrinks it a little bit, and then a compose window will come up right behind it. There we go. And I will just tap in the to field and send this to Phil here. Phil Schiller, there we go. And the email's there, yep, it's there. And I'm just going to send it. Hey, Phil, that should be on its way right now.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Anything else?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping if you're done soon that we could not only get some dinner, but maybe catch a movie tonight. Is there anything you want to see?
Let me go check it out. I've got, I think I've got Fandango on my bookmarks here. And yes, I do. Let's go to Fandango. Figure out what movies are playing.
Just friends. There's nothing personal here.
Yeah.
Gotta go catch a movie. Don't want to read too much into it.
Okay, here's Fandango. Let's just double tap, and here's the movies playing. Yep. How about we go see Night at the Museum? I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I haven't either. That'd be great.
Great. All righty. Hey, take care, Phil. Now, what I'm going to do is, to go back to my call, I just touched the top here, and I'm back at my call, and I'm just going to go ahead and end the call. And what happens now? Back in my music. So, this is what it's like when you put it all together. iPhone. Today, Apple is reinventing the phone. Now, how does this stack up? Let's go back to these guys. Let's take a look. Well, these are their home screens. And again, as you recall, this is iPhone's home screen. This is what their contacts look like. This is what iPhone's contacts look like. And again, you just pick one and you see everything about that person, all the information you have. This is what mail looks like on these smartphones. Again, this is what mail looks like on iPhone. You have rich HTML, rich text email. This is what calendars look like on these guys. This is what calendars look like on iPhone. This is what the web looks like. And we tried to make it look as good as we could on these. It usually looks worse, and this is what you get. And of course, this is what you get on iPhone, and you can zoom in and see anything you want. And this is what you get for music players. Nobody really uses them much. And this is what you get on iPhone. So, after today, I don't think anyone's going to look at these phones quite the same way again. Now let me tell you about some accessories we've got for iPhone. Got some great stereo headphones we're going to be shipping. And they've got a little addition to them, which is this little thing right over here. It's a microphone and a switch. So you can talk, you have them in there, you can get a call, just talk, the beautiful reception on the microphone, and just push it together to answer a call or hang up on a call. And so you can be wearing them and just dangles right there and picks up your voice beautifully. And we also have a Bluetooth accessory headset that we're going to be shipping. And there it is right there. It's incredibly small. And just to let you see what it looks like, it's got one button on the top for answering and hanging up a phone call. You never have to turn it off or on. It just goes to sleep. It automatically pairs with iPhone, so you don't have to worry about pairing. It's really simple. And it's very tiny. This is what it looks like in ear. It's just beautiful. It's the coolest one that we've ever seen. So, Bluetooth headset coming as well. Battery life. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of these phones, a lot of these smartphones have pretty low battery lives. We've managed to get 5 hours of battery, and that's for talk time or video or browsing. 5 hours of battery life and 16 hours of audio playback. So that's dramatically better than any of these smartphones. There's a tremendous amount of high technology in iPhone. We've been pushing the state of the art in every facet of this design. So let me just talk a little bit about it here. We've got the multi-touch screen, a first. Miniaturization, more than we've ever done before. A lot of custom silicon. Tremendous power management. OS X inside a mobile device. Featherweight precision enclosures. 3 advanced sensors. Desktop class applications. And of course, the widescreen video iPod. We've been innovating like crazy for the last few years on this, and we filed for over 200 patents for all the inventions in iPhone. and we intend to protect them. So, a lot of high technology. I think we're advancing the state of the art in every aspect of this design. So, iPhone is like having your life in your pocket. It's the ultimate digital device. So what should we price it at? Well, what do these things normally cost? An iPod, the most popular iPod, $199 for 4 gig nano. What's a smartphone cost? Well, they say you get the phone and some of the internet with it, although that's questionable. But they cost somewhere between around $299. You can get them for $199. Palm just introduced a new one at $399 yesterday, so generally average about $299 with a 2-year contract. Now, these phones sort of do music, but nobody uses them for music because they're not very good, and so they end up buying an iPod to go with the phone. We know we sell the iPod. And so people spend $499 on this combination. What should we charge for iPhone? Because iPhone's got a lot more than this stuff, right? It's got video, real video. It's got this beautiful, gorgeous wide screen. It's got multi-touch user interface. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got a real browser. It's got HTML email. It's got cover flow and on and on and on. And this stuff would normally cost hundreds of dollars. So how much more than $499 should we price iPhone? Well, we thought long and hard about it, because iPhone just does so much stuff. So much better experience on a call and managing your contacts and visual voicemail, random access voicemail for the first time, and texting and email and real browser and Google Maps and tremendous iPod and cover flow and video. And what should we price this thing at? Well, for 4 gigabyte model, we're going to price it at that same $499. No premium whatsoever. $499. And we're going to have an 8 gigabyte model for just $599. So we're going to price it starting at $499. Now, when's it going to be available? We're going to be shipping these in June. Yeah, June. We're announcing it today because with products like this, we got to go and get FCC approval, which takes a few months. And we thought it'd be better if we introduce this rather than ask the FCC to introduce it for us. So here we are, and we're going to be shipping it in June in the US. We're going to Europe, hopefully by the 4th calendar quarter of this year, and Asia in 2008. So June, in just a few months, we'll be shipping in the US. And when we do, our partner is going to be Singular. We've chosen Singular. They are the best and most popular network in the country. 58 million subscribers. They are number one. And they're going to be our exclusive partner in the US. Now, it's a unique partnership, though. We're not just going to be selling phones and services together. We're going to be doing innovation together. We worked with Singular on visual voicemail because it's an innovation that requires both innovation on the phone and in the network. You can't do it in just one place. You have to do it in both places and collaborate. And so visual voicemail is the first fruit of this collaboration, and you will see more. And when we start shipping in June, we'll be selling iPhone through our own stores and through Singular stores. And it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO of Singular, Stan Sigman.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Welcome,
that is super.
Stan.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, Steve and I first met about 2 years ago in New York City when he shared with me this vision that he had for this product. And we've been working on it for some time and actually entered into a contractual agreement without us ever seeing the device or the phone. And that was because of the confidence that I have in Steve and his leadership team to deliver on the vision that they have. And every time I see this, it's just wow. It's just wow. It's really, really cool. You've exceeded my expectations. It's a real honor for Singular to be partnering with Apple today. And I've brought with me another company to celebrate in this, and it's a pretty big company. It's the new AT&T. You know, 11 days ago, AT&T became a full part, Singular became a full part of the new AT&T family. And this new family will help fulfill the vision we have of wireline, wireless, broadband, and video coming together on one device in the ways that customers haven't imagined. Today, Singular and Apple are truly raising the bar. We're announcing a partnership that the mobile phone experience takes the mobile phone experience to a real new level by bringing together the best network with the best device. Networks are the foundation of what Singular and AT&T do. Singular offers the largest digital and voice data network in America today. The Singular network has the fewest dropped calls in this country. And AT&T is the largest provider of broadband internet services in this community. When it comes to networks, AT&T wrote the book. Their quality is legendary. Put this network experience that Singular and AT&T have and Apple products together, and what do you get? First, you get the best voice and data services with the best user experience available anywhere. Second, you get real compelling products and services. For example, is the visual voicemail that Steve mentioned, which lets you look at the voice message you want to hear and when you want to hear it. As Steve mentioned, to create the visual voicemail, it took innovation on Singular's part at the network level and by Apple with the device. And I promise you'll see more of that coming down the road. Third, when you combine Singular's 2,100 retail stores and #1 wireless online store with Apple's already legendary retail stores and online stores, you've got unmatched distribution. Yes, we're truly pleased to partner with Apple to deliver one of the most eagerly awaited wireless products ever, the iPhone that he showed you. With the iPhone, you get a breakthrough wireless experience. And we'll be working shoulder to shoulder with Steve and his team to make sure that the integration of the iPhone and our network is seamless. This is only the beginning. We are just introducing a new product. We're changing the way companies work together. Apple and Singular have a multi-year exclusive partnership. The new iPhone is only available with Singular wireless services. This is not an MVNO. Ours is a unique relationship that lets Apple be Apple and Singular be Singular. Apple has built a device combining the best phone, iPod, and mobile internet experience ever. iPhone owners will be Singular and AT&T customers. Our customers will get the best network and services in the business. People will benefit from the best that companies they already know and trust in what they have to offer. Apple, Singular, and AT&T have come a long ways, and now we're picking up the pace. A little over 6 years ago, Bell South and AT&T came together to form Singular. 11 days, Singular joined the new AT&T. Today, Singular and AT&T are working together to provide our customers the most innovative, enjoyable, and reliable service in the industry. I hope you're as excited as we are as what we have to see and enjoy here. This is going to be a terrific ride. Thank you very much, Steve, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, as Stan said, we started working together about 2 years ago, and we come from pretty different worlds. The telecommunications industry, the computer industry, and of course music with the iPod. And yet we have worked wonderfully together. And we love these guys, and we think we're going to bring some great stuff to market over the years together. So, let's take a look at this market and how big it is. My clicker's not working. Oh, there it is. Maybe it is working. So how big is this market? Well, let's take a look. No. All righty. Clicker is not working. All right. They're scrambling backstage right now. You know, when I was in high school, Steve Wozniak and I, mostly Steve, made this little device called a TV jammer. And it was this little oscillator that would put out frequencies that would screw up the TV. And Woz would have it in his pocket, and we'd go into like a dorm at Berkeley where he was going to school, and a bunch of folks would be watching like Star Trek, and he'd screw up the TV, and somebody'd go up to fix it, and just as they had their foot off the ground, he'd turn it back on. And if they put their foot back on the ground, he'd screw up the TV again. And within 5 minutes, he'd have somebody like this for the rest of the Star Trek episode. Okay, so maybe it's working now. Maybe they're going to have to click them for me. So, game consoles. 26 million game consoles were sold in 2006 worldwide. Actually, a little smaller than you'd think. It's not such a big market. Digital cameras dwarfed it at 94 million. MP3 players, 135 million. And PCs, about 209. Mobile phones, just about 1 billion last year worldwide. So what does this tell you? What this tells you is that 1% market share equals 10 million units. This is a giant market. If you just 1% market share, you're going to sell 10 million phones. And this is exactly what we're going to try to do in 2008, our first full year in the market, is grab 1% market share and go from there. So we're going to enter a very competitive market, a lot of players. We think we're going to have the best product in the world, and we're going to go for it and see if we can get 1% market share, 10 million units in 2008, and go from there. So today, we've added to the Mac and the iPod, we've added Apple TV, and now iPhone. And you know, the Mac is the only one that you really think of as a computer, right? And so we thought about this, and we thought, you know, maybe our name should reflect this a little bit more than it does. So we're announcing today, we're dropping the computer from our name, and from this day forward, we're going to be known as Apple Incorporated, to reflect the product mix that we have today. You know, I didn't sleep a wink last night. And I was so excited about today because we've been so lucky at Apple. We've had some real revolutionary products. The Mac in 1984 is an experience that those of us that were there will never forget. And I don't think the world will forget it either. The iPod in 2001 changed everything about music. And we're going to do it again with the iPhone in 2007. And we're very excited about this. And you know, there's an old Wayne Gretzky quote that I love. I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. And we've always tried to do that at Apple, since the very, very beginning. And we always will. So thank you very, very much for being a part of this.
Thank you. Oh, okay, come on. Okay, please. Thank you. No, that's too much. I haven't even spoken yet. Thank you. Whoa! Oh my God! That's crazy! Oh man! Thank you. Yeah, whoa! All right, thank you. Thank you. Please, let's begin. Greetings, graduates, faculty, parents, relatives, Zoom bombers, and the true heroes today, the Harvard IT department. Really nice compression, guys. Beautiful. Very, very little buffering. Nice job, nerds. Welcome to Harvard's first online graduation, and congratulations to the Harvard class of 2020. Yes. I want to begin by telling you that the administration has given me only 10 minutes to speak today instead of the traditional 20. I promise to do my best since everyone's in such a big hurry to get back to doing absolutely nothing. I'd like to take just a moment to thank Harvard College for bestowing upon me.
So without further ado, I present the one, the only, the lovable Mr. Conan O'Brien.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Hi, how are you? Hi. She's holding a child. One night. So, first things first, where's Liz? You out here? Get it on. I'll be hanging around afterwards. I'd like to begin by thanking the class marshals for inviting me here today. The last time I was invited to Harvard, it cost me $110,000. So I was reluctant to show up. I'm going to start before I really begin by announcing my one goal this afternoon. I want to be half as funny as tomorrow's commencement speaker, moral philosopher, and economist Amartya Sen. That's the job. Must get more laughs than seminal wage price theoreticians. By the way, enjoy that. Bring a calculator. It's gonna be a nerd fest. Students of the Harvard class of 2000, 15 years ago, I sat where you sit now. And I thought exactly what you are now thinking. What's going to happen to me? Will I find my place in the world? Am I really graduating a virgin? Still have 24 hours. Roommate's mom, very hot. Swear she's checking me out. There was that Rob Lowe movie. Being here today on a sincere note is very special for me. I do miss this place. I especially miss Harvard Square. Let me tell you, you don't know this, Harvard Square is extremely unique. Nowhere else in the world will you find a man wearing a turban and a Red Sox jacket working in a lesbian bookstore. But I'm just glad my dad's working. Now, personal choice. It's particularly sweet for me to be here today because this is true. When I graduated, I wanted very badly to be a class day speaker. Unfortunately, my speech was rejected. So if you'll indulge me, I'd like to read a portion of that speech. This is the actual speech from 15 years ago. Fellow students, as we sit here today listening to that classic Aha tune, which will definitely stand the test of time, I would like to make several predictions about what the future will hold. I believe that one day a simple governor from a small southern state will rise to the highest office in the land. He will lack political skill, but will lead on the sheer strength of his moral authority. I believe that justice will prevail, and one day the Berlin Wall will crumble, uniting East and West Berlin forever under communist rule. I believe that one day a high-speed network of interconnected computers will spring up worldwide, so enriching people that they will lose their interest in idle chit-chat and pornography. And finally, I believe that one day I will have a television show on a major network seen by millions of people a night, which I will use to reenact crimes and help catch at-large criminals. And I had a section on the death of Wall Street. We don't need to hear about that. The point is that although you see me as a celebrity, a member of the cultural elite, demigod, if you will, potential husband material, maybe the father of your child, prove it, baby. I came here in the fall of 1981, and I lived here at Hollywood. Actually, I'm a student, much like you. That's just sad. I was, without exaggeration, this is true, the ugliest picture in the freshman Facebook. When Harvard asked me for a picture the previous summer, this is a true story, I thought it was for their records. So I literally, just like their private records, like in a file, so I jogged in the August heat to a passport photo office and sat for a morgue shot. Now this is what happened. To make matters worse, when the Facebook came out, they put my picture right next to Catherine Oxenberg, a stunning blonde actress, true story, who was accepted to the class of '85, but decided to defer admission so she could join the cast of Dynasty. Folks, my photo would have looked bad on any page, but next to Catherine Oxenberg, I looked like a mackerel that had been in a car accident. You see, in those days, I was 6 feet 4 inches tall and I weighed 150 pounds. True. Recently, I had some structural engineers run those numbers into a computer model, and according to the computer, I collapsed in 1987, killing hundreds in Taiwan. After freshman year, I moved to Mather House. Yeah, Mather House, very popular. Yeah, Mather House, incidentally, was designed by the same firm that built Hitler's bunker. In fact, if Hitler had conducted the war from Mather House, he'd have shot himself a year earlier. Saved us a lot of trouble. All the woo-woo people from Mather House are a little bummed now. They're like, woo! Oh, no! He's a mean man! 1985 seems like a long time ago now. When I had my class day, you students would have been 7 years old. 7 years old. Do you realize what that means? Back then, I could have beaten any of you in a fight. And I mean really badly. Like, no contest at all. Like, if anyone here has a time machine, seriously, I will kick your 7-year-old butt right now. A lot has happened in 15 years, though. When you think about it, we come from completely different worlds. When I graduated in 1985, we watched movies starring Tom Cruise and listened to music by Madonna. I come from a time when we huddled around our TV sets and watched The Cosby Show on NBC, never imagining that there would one day be a show called Cosby on CBS. In 1985, we drove cars with driver's side airbags. But if you told us that one day there'd be passenger side airbags, we'd have burned you for witchcraft. Of course, I think there is some common ground between us. I remember well the great uncertainty of this day, the anxiety. Many of you were justifiably nervous about leaving the safe, comfortable world of Harvard Yard and hurling yourself headlong into the cold, harsh world of Harvard grad school, a plum job at your father's firm, or a year abroad with a gold Amex card, then a plum job at your father's firm. But let me assure you that the knowledge you've gained here at Harvard is a precious gift that will never leave you. Take it from me. Your education is yours to keep forever. Why, many of you have read The Merchant of Florence, and that will inspire you when you travel to the island of Spain. Your knowledge of that problem they had with those people in Russia or that guy in South America, you know, the guy, will be with you for the rest of your life. There's also sadness today, feeling of loss that you're leaving Harvard forever. Let me assure you that you never really leave Harvard. The Harvard Fundraising Committee will be on your ass until the day you die. This is true. I know for a fact that right now a member of the Alumni Association is at the Mount Auburn Cemetery shaking down the corpse of Henry Adams. They heard he has a brass toe ring and they aimed to get it. Now imagine, no offense, buddy, but you got a lot of nerve. These people just raised $2.5 billion and they only got through the B's in the alumni directory. Here's basically how it works. Your phone rings, usually after a big meal when you're sort of tired and most vulnerable. And a voice asks you for money. Now, knowing you've read in the paper that they just raised $2.5 billion, you ask, what do you need it for? Then there's a long pause and the voice on the other end of the line says, we don't need it. We just want it. Carpe diem. What else can you expect? Let me see just by your applause quickly who here wrote a thesis. Wrote a thesis? All right. That's nice. That's nice. A lot of hard work. A lot of your blood went into that thesis. And no one is ever going to care. I wrote a thesis. This is true, I don't lie. Literary progeria in the works of Flannery O'Connor and William Faulkner. Let's just say that during my discussions with Pauly Shore, it doesn't come up much. 3 years after graduation, I wanted to show it to anyone, so I kept my thesis in the glove compartment of my car so I could show it to a policeman in case I was pulled over. That's license, that's registration, cultural exploration of the man-child, and the... Right, I'll go. What else can you expect in the real world? Let me tell you. As you leave these gates and re-enter society, one thing is certain. Everyone out there is going to hate you. Jacob is right. Never tell anyone in a roadside diner that you went to Harvard. In most situations, the correct response to where did you go to school is school. I never had much in the way of book learning and such. Then get in your BMW and get the hell out of there. Go. You see, kids, you're in for a lifetime of, and you went to Harvard? Accidentally give the wrong amount of change in a transaction, and it's, and you went to Harvard? Ask the guy at the hardware store how these jumper cables work, and here, and you went to Harvard? Forget just once that your underwear goes inside your pants, and it's, and you went to Harvard? Get your head stuck in your niece's dollhouse because you wanted to see what it was like to be a giant, and it's Uncle Conan. You went to Harvard? Let's just slow this thing down. You see, to really know what's in store for you after Harvard, I'm going to change up a little bit here. I have to tell you what happened to me after graduation. I'm going to tell it simply. I'm going to tell it honestly. I'm going to tell you my story because, first of all, I think my perspective may give many of you hope. And secondly, it's such a cool, amazing rush to be in front of 6,000 people and just talk about yourself. So, it's just great. It's so cool, and I can take my time. Have water if I want, or not. And you have to wait. Kids excited? Parents, who is this man? What's wrong with Ted Koppel? That guy's on something! See, kids, after graduating in May, I moved to Los Angeles. I got a 3-week contract at a small cable show. I got a $380 a month apartment, Turtle Dump. And I bought a 1977 Isuzu Opel, a car Isuzu only manufactured for a year because I found out that technically it's not a car. Quick tip, graduates, no 4-cylinder used vehicle should have a racing stripe. So I worked at that show for, about a year or so, feeling pretty good about myself. when one day they told me they were letting me go. I was fired. I hadn't saved any money, so I tried to get another job in television as best I could, and I couldn't find one. Couldn't find any job in television. So with nowhere else to turn, true story, I went to a temp agency and I filled out a questionnaire. And I made damn sure that they knew I had been to Harvard, that I had written this thesis, and that I expected the very best treatment. And so the next day I was sent to the Santa Monica branch of Wilson's House of Suede and Leather. Now, when you have a Harvard degree, and you're working at Wilson's House of Suede and Leather, you are haunted by the ghostly images of your classmates who chose graduate school. You see their faces everywhere, in coffee cups, you see them in fish tanks, you think they're going crazy, and they're always laughing at you as you stack suede shirts no man in good conscience would ever wear. I tried a lot of things during this period, acting in corporate infomercials, serving drinks in a non-equity theater. I even took a job entertaining at a 7-year-old birthday party. In desperate need of work, I put together some sketches and scored a job at the fledgling Fox network as a writer and performer for a brand new show called The Wilton North Report. I was finally on a network and really excited. The producer told me the show was going to revolutionize television, and in a way it did. The show was so hated and did so badly that when 4 weeks later news of its cancellation was announced to the Fox affiliates, they burst into spontaneous applause. That had never happened before in television. Eventually, though, I got a big break. I had submitted, along with my writing partner, a batch of sketches to Saturday Night Live, and after a year and a half, they read it. And they gave us a 2-week tryout. The 2 weeks turned into 2 seasons, and I felt, hey, this is success. I'm successful now. Successful enough to write a TV pilot for an original sitcom. And when the network decided to make it, feeling good, I leave Saturday Night Live. Time to go to hell. Now, this TV show was going to be groundbreaking, this new one. It was going to resurrect the career of TV's Batman, Adam West. It was going to be a comedy without a laugh track or a studio audience. It was going to change all the rules. And here's what happened. When the pilot aired, it was the second lowest rated television show of all time. It's actually tied with a test pattern they show in Nova Scotia. So, I was 28, once again, no job. I had good writing credits in New York, but I was filled with disappointment, and I had no idea what I was going to do next. I started smelling suede on my fingertips. And that is when The Simpsons saved my life. I got a job there. I started writing episodes about Springfield getting a monorail or Homer going to college. I was finally putting my Harvard education to good use, writing dialogue for a man who's so stupid that in one episode he forgot to make his own heartbeat. Life was good. And then an insane, inexplicable opportunity came my way, a chance to audition for host of the new late night show. Well, I took the opportunity very seriously, but at the time, I have to be honest, I had the relaxed confidence of someone who knew he had no real shot. So I couldn't fear losing a great job that I had never had, that I couldn't hope to have. And I think that actually, that attitude made the difference. I will never forget being in the Simpsons recording basement that morning when the phone rang. It was for me. My car was blocking a fire lane. But a week later, I got another call. I got the job. So this, finally, was undeniably it. The truly life-altering break that I'd always dreamed of. And I went to work. I gathered all my funny friends and poured all my years of comedy experience into building the show over the summer. I gathered the talent, figured out the sensibility, found Max, found Andy, found my people. We debuted on September 13th, 1993, and I was really happy with our effort. I felt like I had seized the moment, that I had put my very best foot forward. And this is what the most respected and widely read television critic Tom Shales wrote in the Washington Post. It's an actual quote. O'Brien is a living collage of annoying, nervous habits. He giggles and titters, jiggles about, and fiddles with his cuffs. He has dark, beady little eyes like a rabbit. He's one of the whitest white men ever. Shut up. O'Brien is a switch on the guest who won't leave. He's the host who should never have come. Let the Late Show with Conan O'Brien become the Late Late Show, and may the host return to Conan Oblivion whence he came, end quote. There's more, but it gets kind of mean. Needless to say, I took a lot of criticism. Some of it deserved, some of it excessive. And I'll be honest with you, it hurt like you would not believe. But I'm telling you all this for a reason. I have had a lot of success. I have had a lot of failure. I've looked good, and I've looked bad. I've been praised, and I've been criticized. But my mistakes have been necessary. Except for Wilson's House of Sweden, that was just stupid. Don't do that. I've dwelled on my failures today because as graduates of Harvard, your biggest liability is your need to succeed. Your need to always find yourself on the sweet side of the bell curve. Because success is a lot like a bright white tuxedo. You feel terrific when you get it, but then you're desperately afraid of getting it dirty, of spoiling it in any way. I left the cocoon of Harvard. I left the cocoon of Saturday Night Live. I left the cocoon of The Simpsons. And each time it was bruising and tumultuous. And yet every failure was freeing, and I'll be honest with you, today, I'm as nostalgic for the bad as I am for the good. So that's what I wish for all of you, the bad as well as the good. Fall down, make a mess, break something occasionally, give this guy a hard time. Know that your mistakes are your own unique way of getting to where you need to be. And remember that the story is never over. If you'll indulge me for just a second, I'd like to read a little something from just this year. Somehow Conan O'Brien has transformed himself into the brightest star in the late-night firmament. His comedy is the gold standard, and Conan himself is not only the quickest and most inventive wit of his generation, but quite possibly the greatest host ever. Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2000, I wrote that this morning. As proof that when all else fails, you always have delusion. I will go now to make bigger mistakes and to embarrass this fine institution even more. But let me leave you with one last thought. If you can laugh at yourself, loud and hard, every time you fall, people will think you're drunk. Thank you. Swear she's checking me out. Mom, very hot. 4 hours. Roommates, Mom, very hot. Swear she's checking me out. There was that Rob Lowe movie. Being here today on a sincere note is very special for me. I do miss this place. I've been living in Los Angeles for 2 years, and I've never been this cold in my life. I will pay anyone here $300 for Gore-Tex gloves. Anybody. I'm serious, I have the cash. Before I begin, I must point out that behind me sits a highly admired President of the United States and decorated war hero, while I, a cable television talk show host, has been chosen to stand here and impart wisdom. I pray I never witness a more damning example of what is wrong with America today. Graduates, faculty, parents, relatives, undergraduates, and old people that just come to these things. Good morning and congratulations to the Dartmouth class of 2011. Today, you have achieved something special, something only 92% of Americans your age will ever know: a college diploma. That's right, with your college diploma, you now have a crushing advantage over 8% of the workforce. I'm talking about dropout losers like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Mark Zuckerberg. Incidentally, speaking of Mr. Zuckerberg, only at Harvard would someone have to invent a massive social network just to talk with someone in the next room. My first job as your commencement speaker is to illustrate that life is not fair. For example, you have worked tirelessly for 4 years to earn the diploma you'll be receiving this weekend. That was great. And Dartmouth is giving me the same degree for interviewing the 4th lead in Twilight. Deal with it. Another example that life is not fair: if it does rain, the powerful rich people on stage get the tent. Deal with it. I would like to thank President Kim for inviting me here today. After my phone call with President Kim, I decided to find out a little bit about the man. He goes by President Kim and Dr. Kim. To his friends, he's Jim Kim, J to the K, Special K, J.K. Rowling, the Just Kidding Kimster, and most puzzling, Stinky Pete. He serves as the chair of the Department of Global Health and Social Medicine at Harvard Medical School, spearheaded a task force for the World Health Organization on global health initiatives, won a MacArthur Genius Grant, and was one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in 2006. Good God, man, what the hell are you compensating for? Seriously. We get it, you're smart. By the way, Dr. Kim, you were brought to Dartmouth to lead. And as a world-class anthropologist, you were also hired to figure out why each of these graduating students ran around a bonfire 111 times. But I thank you for inviting me here, Stinky Pete. And it is an honor. Though some of you may see me as a celebrity, you should know that I once sat where you sit. Literally. Late last night, I snuck out here and sat in every seat. I did it to prove a point. I'm not bright, and I have a lot of free time. But this is a wonderful occasion. It's great to be here in New Hampshire, where I am getting an honorary degree and all the legal fireworks I can fit in the trunk of my car. You know, New Hampshire's such a special place. When I arrived, I took a deep breath of this crisp New England air and thought, wow, I'm in this state that's next to the state where Ben & Jerry's ice cream is made. But don't get me wrong, I take my task today very seriously. When I got the call 2 months ago to be your speaker, I decided to prepare with the same intensity many of you have devoted to an important term paper. So late last night, I began. I drank 2 cans of Red Bull, snorted some Adderall, played a few hours of Call of Duty, and then opened my browser. I think Wikipedia put it best when they said Dartmouth College is a private Ivy League university in Hanover, New Hampshire, United States. Thank you and good luck. To communicate with you students today, I have gone to great lengths to become well-versed in your unique linguistic patterns. In fact, just this morning, I left Baker Berry with my Trippy Barry to eat a Billy Bob at the Bema when my Flitz Francesca was blitzjacked by some D-bag on his FSP. Yes, I've done my research. This college was named after the 2nd Earl of Dartmouth, a good friend of the 3rd Earl of UC Santa Cruz, and the Duke of the Barbizon School of Beauty. Your school motto is Vox Clamantis in Deserto, which means voice crying out in the wilderness. This is easily the most pathetic school motto I have ever heard. Apparently, it narrowly beat out silently weeping in thick shrub and whimpering in moist leave without pants. Your school color is green. And this color was chosen by Frederick Mather in 1867 because, and this is true, I looked it up, quote, it was the only color that had not been taken already. I cannot remember hearing anything so sad. Dartmouth, you have an inferiority complex, and you should not. You have graduated more great fictitious Americans than any other college. Meredith Grey of Grey's Anatomy. Pete Campbell from Mad Men. Michael Corleone from The Godfather. In fact, I look forward to next year's valedictory address by your esteemed classmate, Count Chocula. Of course, your greatest fictitious graduate is Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner. Man, can you imagine if a real Treasury Secretary made those kinds of decisions? Now I know what you're going to say, Dartmouth. You're going to say, well, we've got Dr. Seuss. Well, guess what? We're all tired of hearing about Dr. Seuss. Face it, the man rhymed fafloozle with snoozle. In the literary community, that's called cheating. Your insecurity is so great, Dartmouth, that you don't even think you deserve a real podium. I'm sorry, what the hell is this thing? It looks like you stole it from the set of Survivor, Nova Scotia. Seriously, it looks like something a bear would use at an AA meeting. No, Dartmouth, you must stand tall. Raise your heads high and feel proud. Because if Harvard, Yale, and Princeton are your self-involved, vain, name-dropping older brothers, you are the cool, sexually confident, lacrosse-playing younger sibling who knows how to throw a party and looks good in a down vest. Brown, of course, is your lesbian sister who never leaves her room. And Penn, Columbia, and Cornell, well, frankly, who gives a shit? Yes, I've always had a special bond with this school. In fact, this is my 2nd time coming here. When I was 17 years old and touring colleges way back in the fall of 1980, I came to Dartmouth. Dartmouth was a very different place back then. I made the trip up from Boston on a mule. After asking the blacksmith in West Lev for directions, I came to this beautiful campus. No dormitories had been built yet, so I stayed with a family of fur traders in White River Junction. It snowed heavily during my visit, and I was trapped here for 4 months. I was forced to eat the mule, who a week earlier had been forced to eat the fur traders. Still, I loved Dartmouth, and I vowed to return. But fate dealt a heavy blow. With no money, I was forced to enroll in a small local commuter school, a pulsating sore on a muddy elbow of the Charles River. I was a miserable wretch, and to this day I cannot help but wonder, what if I had gone to Dartmouth? If I had gone to Dartmouth, I might have spent at least some of my college years outside, and today I might not be allergic to all plant life, as well as most types of rock. If I had gone to Dartmouth right now, I'd be wearing a fleece thong instead of a lace thong. If I had gone to Dartmouth, I still wouldn't know the second verse to Dear Old Dartmouth. Face it, none of you do, you all mumble that part. If I had gone to Dartmouth, I'd have a liver the size and consistency of a beanbag chair. Finally, if I had gone to Dartmouth today, I'd be getting an honorary degree at Harvard. Imagine how awesome that would be. You are a great school, and you deserve a historic commencement address. That's right, I want my message today to be forever remembered because it changed the world. To do this, I must suggest groundbreaking policy. Winston Churchill gave his famous Iron Curtain speech at Westminster College in 1946. JFK outlined his nuclear disarmament policy at American University in 1963. Today, I would like to set forth my own policy here at Dartmouth. I call it the Conan Doctrine. Under the Conan Doctrine, all bachelor degrees will be upgraded to master's degrees. All master's degrees will be upgraded to PhDs. And all MBA students will be immediately transferred to a white-collar prison. Under the Conan Doctrine, Winter Carnival will become Winter Carnival and be moved to Rio. Clothing will be optional, all expenses paid by the Alumni Association. Your nickname, the Big Green, will be changed to something more kick-ass, like the Jade Blade, the Seafoam Avenger, or simply Limezilla. The D-plan and quarter system will finally be updated to the 1/64th system. Semesters will last 3 days. Students will be encouraged to take 48 semesters off. They must, however, be on campus during their sophomore 4th of July. Under the Conan Doctrine, I will reinstate tube stock. And I will punish those who tried to replace it with field stock. Rafting and beer are a much better combination than a field and a beer. I happen to know that in 2 years they are going to downgrade field stock to desk stock. 7 hours of fun sitting quietly at your desk. Don't let those bastards do it. And finally, under the Conan Doctrine, all commencement speakers who shamelessly pander with cheap inside references designed to get childish applause will be forced to apologize to the greatest graduating class in the history of the world. Dartmouth class of 2011 rolls! Besides policy, another hallmark of great commencement speeches is deep, profound advice, like reach for the stars. Well, today, I'm not going to waste your time with empty cliches. Instead, I'm going to give you real, practical advice that you will need to know if you're going to survive the next few years. First, adult acne lasts longer than you think. I almost canceled 2 days ago because I had a zit on my eye. Guys, this is important. You cannot iron a shirt while wearing it. Here's another one. If you live on ramen noodles for too long, you lose all feelings in your hands, and your stool becomes a white gel. And finally, wearing colorful Converse high tops beneath your graduation robe is a great way to tell your classmates that this is just the first of many horrible decisions you plan to make for the rest of your life. Of course, there are many parents here, and I have real advice for them as well. Parents, you should write this down. Many of your children, you haven't seen them in 4 years. Well, now you're about to see them every day when they come out of the basement to tell you the Wi-Fi isn't working. If your child majored in fine arts or philosophy, you have good reason to be worried. The only place they are now really qualified to get a job is ancient Greece. Good luck with that degree. The traffic today on East Wheelock is going to be murder, so once they start handing out diplomas, you should slip out in the middle of the K's. And I have to tell you this, you will spend more money framing your child's diploma than they will earn in the next 6 months. It's tough out there, so be patient. The only people hiring right now are Panera Bread and Mexican drug cartels. Yes, you parents must be patient because it is indeed a grim job market out there. One of the reasons it's so tough finding work is that aging baby boomers refuse to leave their jobs. Trust me on this. Even when they promise you for 5 years they're going to leave and say it on television, I mean, you can go on YouTube right now and watch the guy do it. There is no guarantee they won't come back. Of course, I'm speaking generally. But enough, this is not a time for grim prognostications or negativity. No, I came here today because, believe it or not, I actually do have something real to tell you. 11 years ago, I gave an address to a graduating class at Harvard. I have not spoken at a graduation since because I thought I had nothing left to say. But then 2010 came. And now I'm here 3,000 miles from my home because I learned a hard but profound lesson last year, and I have to share it with you. In 2000, I told graduates, don't be afraid to fail. Well, now I'm here to tell you that though you should not fear failure, you should do your very best to avoid it. Nietzsche famously said, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. What he failed to stress is that it almost kills you. Disappointment stings, and for driven, successful people like yourselves, it is disorienting. What Nietzsche should have said is, whatever doesn't kill you makes you watch a lot of Cartoon Network and drink mid-price Chardonnay at 11 in the morning. Now, by definition, commencement speakers at an Ivy League college are considered successful. But a little over a year ago, I experienced a profound and very public disappointment. I did not get what I wanted, and I left a system that had nurtured and helped define me for the better part of 17 years. I went from being in the center of the grid to not only off the grid, but underneath the coffee table that the grid sits on, lost in the shag carpeting that is underneath the coffee table supporting the grid. It was the making of a career disaster and a terrible analogy. But then something spectacular happened. Fog-bound, with no compass and adrift, I started trying things. I grew a strange cinnamon beard. I dove into the world of social media. I started tweeting my comedy. I threw together a national tour. I played the guitar. I did stand-up, wore a skin-tight blue leather suit, recorded an album, made a documentary, and frightened my friends and family. Ultimately, I abandoned all preconceived perceptions of my career path and stature and took a job on basic cable, with a network most famous for showing reruns, along with sitcoms created by a tall black man who dresses like an old black woman. I did a lot of silly, unconventional, spontaneous, and seemingly irrational things. And guess what? With the exception of the blue leather suit, it was the most satisfying and fascinating year of my professional life. To this day, I still don't understand exactly what happened, but I have never had more fun, been more challenged, and this is important, had more conviction about what I was doing. How could this be true? Well, it's simple. There are few things more liberating in this life than having your worst fear realized. I went to college with many people who prided themselves on knowing exactly who they were and exactly where they were going. At Harvard, 5 different guys in my class told me they would one day be president of the United States. 4 of them were later killed in motel shootouts. The other ones briefly hosted Blue's Clues before dying senselessly in yet another motel shootout. Your path at 22 will not necessarily be your path at 32 or 42. One's dream is constantly evolving, rising and falling, changing course. This happens in every job, but because I have worked in comedy for 25 years, I can probably speak best about my own profession. Way back in the 1940s, there was a very, very funny man named Jack Benny. He was a giant star, easily one of the greatest comedians of his generation. And a much younger man named Johnny Carson wanted very much to be Jack Benny. In some ways he was, but in many ways he wasn't. He emulated Jack Benny, but his own quirks and mannerisms, along with the changing medium, pulled him in a different direction. And yet, his failure to completely become his hero made him the funniest person of his generation. David Letterman wanted to be Johnny Carson, and was not. And as a result, my generation of comedians wanted to be David Letterman. And none of us are. My peers and I have all missed that mark in 1,000 different ways. But the point is this: It is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique. It's not easy, but if you accept your misfortune and handle it right, your perceived failure can become a catalyst for profound reinvention. So, at the age of 47, after 25 years of obsessively pursuing my dream, that dream changed. For decades in show business, the ultimate goal of every comedian was to host The Tonight Show. It was the holy grail. And like many people, I thought that achieving that goal would define me as successful. But that is not true. No specific job or career goal defines me, and it should not define you. In 2000, I told graduates to not be afraid to fail, and I still believe that. But today I tell you that whether you fear it or not, disappointment will come. The beauty is that through disappointment you can gain clarity, and with clarity comes conviction and true originality. Many of you here today are getting your diploma at this Ivy League school because you have committed yourself to a dream and worked hard to achieve it. And there is no greater cliche in a commencement address than follow your dream. Well, I'm here to tell you that whatever you think your dream is now, it will probably change, and that's okay. 4 years ago, many of you had a specific vision of what your college experience was going to be and who you were going to become. And I bet today most of you would admit that your time here was very different from what you imagined. Your roommates changed, your major changed. For some of you, your sexual orientation changed. I bet some of you have changed your sexual orientation since I began this speech. I know I have. But through the good, and especially the bad, the person you are now is someone you could never have conjured in the fall of 2007. I've told you many things today, most of it foolish, but some of it true. I'd like to end my address by breaking a taboo and quoting myself from 17 months ago. At the end of my final program with NBC, just before signing off, I said, work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen. Today, receiving this honor and speaking to the Dartmouth class of 2011 from behind a tree trunk, I have never believed that more. Thank you very much and congratulations. Couple of quick things before we wrap things up here. First of all, I am the beneficiary of literally hundreds and hundreds of really talented, amazing people, and then I'm just the nose cone of the rocket, and there's so many people to thank. 11 years ago, I made the decision to come to TBS. At the time, people were really surprised that I did that. They didn't think that would be the move. I did it for one reason. A guy named Steve Koonin came to me. And he's one of the loveliest people I've ever met in show business. He's what the Irish call a mensch. And we take words that we like. Anyway, he came to me and he said, I will protect you. I will let you and your people do whatever you want. I'll never interfere, and will support you 100%. They did that. They did that in every single way. They never went back on their word. They were extraordinary and lovely. The people at TBS were nothing short of remarkable. None of this would have happened. I'd have gone away a long time ago if it weren't for them. So Steve Koonin, I thank you. David Levy, Kevin Riley, Dave Wolkius, Sandra Dewey, Brett Weiss, Jen Cohen, we love you. Thank you all so much for making this happen. We're really good people. I want to thank my squad. They've been with me forever. Rick Rosen, Gavin Pallone, Lee Burkeen. They're the best at what they do, and they take really good care of me. Got to bring up the guy who I met back in 1993. I was paired with him to try this crazy thing. No one thought it would work, and he's been my executive producer since then. and we are brothers from different mothers. Our executive producer, our jefe, Jeff Ross. Want to give it up to Jeff Ross? Where are you, Jeff? Hi, Jeff. Yeah. He's busy. He was back there trying to get a restaurant reservation. Anyway. They don't have an outside table. All right, well, anyway. Jack Black brought up something really important. In another era, a sidekick was someone who sat next to the host and laughed along and just sort of supported them. And they were great in their way. They all had their special skills. And when I found Andy Richter, he's one of the funniest people that I ever met. And I put him next to me. And Andy, I never said to Andy, give me room. You can't get the laugh. I've got to get the laugh. The rule was always, if you think of the funniest thing, just say it, and that'll get us out. And he did it 100,000 times. He's a brilliant man, and I love him forever, Andy Richter. Cry. Would have been nice if you fake laughed once. There were times. I started as a comedy writer, so I always took it as a point of pride. I always wanted to have the very best comedy writers, and I did. Starting in 1993 and until now, I've just, I cannot express how brilliant these people are. And I don't often know that writers are appreciated as much as they should be. I know that there are awards for them, but they're behind the scenes. You have no idea the courage of many of my writers, the ingenuity, just the beauty of their minds, how they work, and they're also really good people. I've been blessed with the best writing in television, in my opinion, for 28 years. So. Really. Shoe writers, I gotta call out two in particular right now because they're true, just amazing people who still have kept this show going all through the TBS years, and that is Mr. Michael Sweeney, Michael B. Sweeney, if you're here. Mike Sweeney's here, and who's amazing, and he's always in the trenches, and he goes with me on all the travel shows, and we've been having fights all over the world about. It's just absolutely absurd, and half the time he's wearing his pajamas and an old beat-up Chatham sweatshirt because that's all he brought. And I love him. And I'll tell you someone else, Mr. Matt O'Brien, who is, I have to point out, he's no relation to me at all. He's just a brilliant writer in his own right. But I always tell people that he's my uncle's son and we had to hire him. And so many interns think it's true and don't give him the respect he's due, and I think it's the funniest thing in the world. But Matt is great. There's a guy on our show who never gets any recognition, and you will agree with me that he is the truest warrior. He is in the bottom, the very bowels of the works, the gears. He's been with me. I think he started with me way back in the early 90s as an intern. And he is the guy who travels the world with me. He's the guy that makes things happen, where people try and shut us down and try and stop a shoot. He does some crazy thing that's illegal. He gets shot in the leg but doesn't say anything about it till later. He is the truest warrior I've ever met, Jason Chalem. Everybody. We didn't think thing about this through it all, everyone's a creep that comes out of the dark. It's like I'm just introducing sexual predators on the show. Here's another creep. Here I am. A brilliant woman who is our line producer and makes everything happen. If she left us tomorrow, I would leave show business and Jeff would leave. She just makes everything work. She's a genius. Sarah Fedorovich. Gotta give it up. Sarah! Where are you, you creep? She's off. All right, well, whatever. Hey, I gotta give a shout out to somebody. This is very hard for young people to understand, but in 1993, when I was chosen to replace David Letterman, people thought it was a batshit crazy stupid idea. They didn't know me the way you do. I had no experience. I really shouldn't have had the job. One guy changed my life. Lorne Michaels at Saturday Night Live said he did something. He said, I think that guy, and NBC said, the writer with the weird hair, and he was like, trust me, he's got something, and Lorne put his credibility on the line. He really did at the time. You can go back and read, and people wrote, wow, I remember reading an article that said Lorne Michaels has taken like the biggest gamble of his career with his complete unknown for such a big job. Lorne saw something in me. I'd like to think he was right, and he changed my life, and I'll owe him forever. He's a great man. So, on a personal note, quick shout out to Lisa Kudrow, who I met right outside these doors in a little improv actor space. In 1985, and I immediately sized her up as like one of the coolest, most talented people I'd ever meet, and a lovely person. When I went through, when I started to go through the possibility that I might get this job that was, I must repeat, a completely insane idea. Nobody except Lorne thought it could work. Lisa Kudrow had more faith in me than I did, and she said, you've got to do it, you have to do it, you're like the only one that can do it. I thought she was nuts, but I wouldn't be doing this job. You wouldn't know me if it wasn't for Lisa Kudrow. So, big shout out. Now, I'm going to wrap this thing up as fast as I can. I come from a big family, but I got to give a big shout out to my parents, who I think raised me right. I love you, Mom and Dad, and they'll see this, I think, 3 months from now. They don't know how the internet works. Someone will get them a film of this, but I love them dearly, and you know, what are you going to say? They're just amazing people. My siblings, Neil, Luke, Kate, Jane, and Justin, they never ever were impressed with anything. They just, I mean, would you? I'm not saying that in a bad way. They just had they always treated me the way they did when we were kids, which was shitty. I'm a fucking celebrity, man. They're really amazing people. They've supported me in every way. It's probably not always the easiest thing to be related to someone, you know, like me, who acts like an ass for a living, but they've never for a second bought into any of the potential foolishness of this business, and they give me shit constantly, and I love you guys all for it. Probably the biggest shout out I got to give is one of the most amazing things, or I'm going to say the most amazing thing that happened to me on this show over the 28 years of various shows, various 9, was shooting a remote, and I saw this woman on the remote who was an advertising executive. Immediately fell in love with her. You can see me kind of fall in love with her on camera. It was the best decision I ever made in my life, including late night. I mean, she is the best decision. She's my beautiful, super smart, much smarter than me wife, Liza. So thank you, Liza. And I'll tell you, this is how. whatever people think of me and our relationship, they quickly figure out that Liza's the smart one and really funny. And when we shot the scene from the Notebook where I kissed Ryan Reynolds, she saw it happen. She was there. She saw it happen. And when it was done, she said, well, that ruined both of you for me. And because of Liza and because she's so smart and such an amazing mom, I have just two incredible children. I know everyone thinks their children are incredible, but I've seen some of your children and they suck. My children are better. They just are, you know. I've really looked into it. You got some bad children. Nevin Beckett, I love you. And again, you'll see this in 30 years when you start to understand about my career. And then I'll just close with this one thought. I have devoted all of my adult life, all of it, to pursuing this strange phantom intersection between smart and stupid. And there's a lot of people that believe the two cannot coexist. But God, I will tell you, it is something that I believe religiously. I think when smart and stupid come together, it's very difficult, but if you can make it happen, I think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. I am so grateful to all my staff and the fans in this country and around the world who have joined me in this really crazy and seemingly pointless pursuit to do things that are kind of stupid but have something smart in there somewhere, and then there's a little tiny sort of flicker of what is a kind of a magic. I think that's what I believe. So my advice to anyone watching right now, and it's not easy to do, it is not easy to do, it's not easy to do, but try and do what you love with people you love. And if you can manage that, it's the definition of heaven on earth. I swear to God, it really is. So good night. Thank you very much. My guest tonight's a comedian and co-creator of Netflix's F is for Family. He also, of course, plays Miggs Mayfeld in The Mandalorian. Please welcome our really good friend, Bill Burr. Bill, how are you?
What's going on? Oh, thank you. Thank you, all 7 of you. And the 4 Kevin Harts.
Yeah.
Is he in the black section of the crowd? That's
yes.
what it seems like. They've moved up to the middle. Progress. I like it.
It's so nice to have you here. You're one of my all-time favorite guests. Always entertaining. We've had such a good time together over the years. You know, we really have.
Yeah, it sucks that you're ending this.
Oh, well, ending this version of it, I'll come back with a cooking show or something.
What are you doing? You're going to be on what? HBO Max? Are you allowed to say that on this network? Or are they going to get upset?
No, they're cool with it. I think aren't they all the same thing?
They're all in bed together.
Owned by the same.
Everybody's owned by one company now. We're all working for Exxon.
All working for Exxon, and they have a very low budget.
Exactly.
We don't have a lot of money. That reminds me back in the day when I used to do like Chappelle Show. That was like Viacom, and that was the funniest thing ever. They would always be like, we don't have a lot of money. So you'd like book a part. They'd be like, yeah, you're playing a SWAT guy. Do you have any combat boots? And you'd be like, yeah, no, I don't. Any of your friends? Do your friends?
And they're Viacom. They're Viacom.
But it was just like, this isn't my job. My job's to book the part. So we would just give the lady shit down there going, hey, you're playing a blacksmith. You got an anvil? Any of your friends, can you get one? Lug it over here? It's like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't know. That's always been, I've been paid a lot in exposure throughout the years. This is great exposure. I'm just going to trash everything I've ever done. I love the 80s Strikes Back. That was this great exposure. It's great exposure. We had to fight them to give us cab fare. I mean, granted, it wasn't the highest art. Bill, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Well, I'll tell you. Remind me, back in the day, I worked in a restaurant in North Carolina that was slowly going out of business. And at one point, I was the busboy.
Slowly going.
Slowly, always. It was a slow, bad day. They put a 5-star restaurant in the middle of this stupid strip mall. It was doomed from the beginning. So, not to mention, it was sort of the 80s, so a lot of people were, they were ready to work. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Amped up. I was the busboy. I was the grill chef. Kicked on a mesquite grill and the dishwasher, all at the same time. I remember there was this asshole. I was thinking about it this morning. This is that Irish thing where you never let shit go.
Yeah.
I came running in the back. I'd taken off my chef hat. I ran out and I bust the tables. I came in the back and I said, hey, we're out of glasses. And this guy who was on work release from prison, he goes, well, why don't you wash some? And he goes, a novel idea. I remember he said, like, he was this well-read guy.
This guy was on work release from prison?
I was like, yeah, hey, how about you don't go to jail? You convict piece of shit. And I'm doing 300 jobs. But here's the deal. He was in jail, so I was scared. So I was like, okay. And then I just washed him and probably burned the shrimp brochettes.
That's a tragic story. You know, I'm going to say something, Bill. I'm going to say, despite that rant you just had, where you got your temperature got up a little bit, your heart rate raised a little bit, you do seem calmer to me. We were chatting a little bit when you got here. Seems like you've calmed down. I know you had your second child recently.
Yep.
Fatherhood calming
Baby
you down?
Boy, fatherhood made me have to figure myself out because I didn't want my kids to go through, some of the stuff that I went through. Not saying it was all bad, but some of the stuff that I went through. So I just kept trying and failing with the temper, and I ended up taking mushrooms.
You took mushrooms to help you with your temper?
No, I didn't do that. It inadvertently helped me. I just took it because I was like, all right, I'm gonna be 53. I've never tripped. Like, am I gonna miss out on that? I'll do it once. I'm in the desert, that's what you're supposed to do. So I did it, and I didn't do a lot of it. So I sort of mini tripped, you know what I mean? Like the TV looked like it was gonna, get bigger and fall on me.
Right.
Sink looked like it was breathing or whatever.
Right.
But then after that, I was sort of left with this profound sense of loneliness and not feeling loved, right? So I'm literally laying there going, what the hell is this? I love my wife and I love my kids, and I figured it out. I go, oh, this is how I felt growing up. I get it. And then I was like, I've been running from this feeling. That's why, hey, I do stand-up. I fly helicopters. Am I cool? Do you like me? And I just, like, the pandemic really just not having anything to do.
Right.
Just slowed everything down, and then all of that smoke just kind of came back, and I was trying to, organize in my office, and I couldn't stay in front of it, so I was kind of like, all right, I need to sit and figure out what this is. So it's kind of funny. I ran from it for 30 years, and in 3 months, I kind of figured it all out, put like all the pieces together. So it's funny now, I haven't flipped out or yelled in my house. But now I'm going up, I still have that need to be liked, so now I'm going up to my wife I haven't yelled in a while. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Am I a swell guy? Do you like me? So I still have that crushing need to be liked. But I'm not flipping out.
Yeah.
No, I feel great. I feel light and all of that. And
that's nice.
I'm not worried about the whole, if you get happy, you're not going to be funny. It's like, no, maybe I could have a new, empathetic, way of going at shit while still, I will still forever rip apart inconsiderate people who I deem in my own dictator world as inconsiderate people.
Right.
I had a murderous thought in Target with this self-involved woman who's just shooting the shit with the person at the register. There's 6 people behind you. Just do the transaction and get out of there. And all the stories were self-serving and about herself. And I just felt it, I just felt it coming up. We got a tropical storm developing, just...
So you feel, even though you're enlightened now and you've found peace,
I'm not enlightened. I'm not. I figured out that why I'm up, but I'm not like.
Okay.
I'm still a shithead. Don't you dare compliment me, Conan.
Okay.
I'll take you over in that chair.
What about, I mean, there's a lot of people that are upset about a lot of things these days. You know, people are arguing about whether they should get vaccinated or not. Have you gotten vaccinated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up for it, too. I'm like, you know, if they're trying to kill me, which doesn't, that conspiracy, I love a conspiracy, doesn't make any sense.
You don't think the anti-vax conspiracy lines up?
That they're secretly trying to kill all of us for population control? No, because what they would do, they would be killing all what they call the sheeple. So all the people would be like, all the people that go, what are we supposed to do? Okay, they're gonna kill us. Right. And then just be left with all the Fonzies with their leather jackets. Who are too cool to listen to people? Like they got a nightmare. Who's gonna dig their ditches for them? So yes. It just doesn't make. I mean, if you want to say that they're gonna come up with something to thin the herd, I will go with that. But they would never do a pointed attack on people that are gonna do whatever they say.
Yes, yes. They're eliminating the wrong group if this is the plan.
So maybe they vaxxed us sheeple, so then they can have a second vaccine of COVID thing come out to kill all the cool people that hit a jukebox and it turns on.
So anyone who's anti-vax is a Fonzie. That's what they're just all Fonzies.
Look at me. We were a couple of Ron Howards sitting here, right?
Sure, yeah, we're
You
Ron
look
Howards.
like I'm at a younger age. I look at like I'm now. And I like to think I'm the Oscar-winning director, Ron Howard. Well, you're still Ron figuring himself out.
I'm towards the end of the Happy Days run.
Yeah,
I might direct the movie.
Right around when he started dating Lori Beth. Right? Yeah. Sorry, that was a deep cut.
Yeah. Okay, so the problem is, in our culture now, if you have a weird belief, you can find a source that caters to that belief, and you don't have to read anything else because of the internet.
It's called the internet. Yeah. That's why I don't listen to anybody's theories anymore unless I just go, did you get this information at the library? Okay, if you got it at the library, I'll listen to it because the library has the decency to break up information between nonfiction and fiction, meaning this happened and this is just some shit people made up. You go on the internet, everything is presented as nonfiction, and that's why, dude, in my lifetime, I'd say for the first 47 years, that nobody thought the Earth was flat, right? And in the last 5 years, all of a sudden, people, are coming out telling me there's an ice wall that you can go look at. Like there's these ice walls. Like we're basically in this giant bowl of, I don't know, cereal or something.
Yeah.
But then once again, I'm like, all right, I'll go with that. But like, what is the upside to telling me, a sheeple, Ron Howard, right, that the world is flat, is round when it's really flat?
Yeah.
What is the upside of doing that?
Right. Why trick us? Why deceive us?
Yeah. What do you get out of doing that? And they can't seem to answer it. I go, what you need to do is get a pilot's license and go for your instrument rating. And then when you see VOR signals and realize one of the things that blocks it is the curvature of the Earth, you'll stop trying to rent a boat to go look at the ice
wall. People are flipping out about masks, and on both sides, like there are people that say, I shouldn't have to wear a mask, I don't want to wear a mask, I don't buy it. And then there are people that...
I love those people.
What? Yeah, you like the people that flip out?
Yeah, don't wear it.
Yeah.
Don't wear it. Go kill yourself. It's awesome. Because I have to be honest with you, I know a lot of people died from COVID, but I'm starting to see the traffic come back, and I selfishly thought I wish I killed it from before. I'm being honest.
God!
It's an honest, selfish thought.
God!
That I had.
So just specific commuters. We've got to be clear here. Specific...
No, people that I don't know or love, that I would never miss. It's 100% selfish.
Okay. You just want to...
You know what's funny? Is when I looked out there, all the real people were like this, and all the cardboard people were still... So I think overall, I think it made sense.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart agreed with that one.
Yeah.
All four of them.
No, 3 of them went for it.
Yeah.
One of them just covered his face. Didn't want any part of it. What do you make of this Bill and Melinda Gates divorce? Are you following that? That's a crazy story.
No, I haven't, but I know if I say that she's going to get a ridiculous amount of money that she didn't earn, I'm going to be labeled a misogynist.
Of course she's going to get a ridiculous money.
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
What do you mean?
Why?
She's been a partner of
Stop
his.
it.
What?
Stop it.
Stop what?
Just stop with this bullshit that, like, Dr. Dre's wife hanging out with them, and that's why he came up with the headphones.
Wait a minute. What?
Like, I don't understand, like, what do you talk to your wife about? Are you sitting there going over plans and blueprints? You're not. It's all like, you know, you've been working a lot lately.
Yeah.